No, make the thing I posted the thumbnail. The Bowman is God. Make that the good thumbnail.
Is everything fucking working? Why is streaming so hard?
Shouldn't be that hard.
Now it's saying connect my encoder to go. It's saying I'm live. Yeah, here we go. We're live.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Here. Here, I posted a link.
Make sure you did you change the title of the stream?
I changed it to. I thought I changed it. What's it saying now?
I don't know.
I posted a link in one of the chats. Nothing fucking works.
Okay, yeah. It should be up.
All right, we're live.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is the Frap Live podcast. We're in the middle of sending out links to start getting people in.
Here, can you turn the music down?
Yes, I can.
A little bit.
I want to make this a window. Ooh.
Okay, let's. I'm gonna ping people now.
All right. Who should we play today? I'm gonna go with Amnesia as our friend for the day. Okay. So, we already got everything going?
Well, are you gonna be able to bring up the stuff we're gonna look at?
Yes, I will be able to.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
no personal information this time. I got all the Homestuck
Okay.
Discord stuff.
All right. Do we have the full? Because we're gonna be looking at that. Do you have the full email?
I don't. Shoot me a link on that real quick.
Okay. I'll just send you the link to Michael's tweet.
Just throw it. Yeah. I'll try to get the live chat going. Here, I'll open it up on my phone. All right, you guys want to start the interview now?
Yeah, we can start. There you go.
Yeah, real quick. Just the first comment someone said is that it's not fucking 5 p.m. EST. What time zones are you guys using?
I'm in Central.
No,
we put 5
you
p.m.
say-
CST.
No, it's 6 p.m. EST on our tweet, right?
Yeah, but we've been talking 5 p.m. It doesn't matter.
But 5 p.m. CST.
Well, we're live now. Hello, Red
Okay,
Rax.
cool.
How are you? We noticed you just subscribed to us, I think.
Wow.
All right. And get my dock up. So, Alex, why don't you take it away with the quick recap of all this drama, so that everyone knows what we're talking about.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. We gotta introduce our guest here.
Sure. I'm still a little jumbled up. Hello, everybody. I'm Khan. I've been running this podcast for a while. I have my co-host Alex over here, and then my other co-host Jojo.
Hello.
And we have our special guest, Alice Bowman, wife of Michael Bowman, who created Suburban Jungle, one of the most famous Homestuck tracks out there. And there's been some bullshit going on around them, and she's here to explain her side of the situation.
Hi. Good to be here.
It's great to have
This
you
is
on.
my first time being on any podcast, so this is fun.
Yeah, it's a fun experience, and now we'll ask you all sorts of questions about yourself, and then get this drama squared away.
Yeah. Well, I want to point out that we're kind of So there's probably a lot of people who are just tuning in who has no idea who the fuck we are. I mean, this was like a kind of an old podcast from like 6 years ago, talking about Homestuck during how it was 6 years ago, and then we just now brought it back to talk about the pilot, and so that's kind of like our first and only episode that we have that's kind of more of like a traditional podcast, and I want to like point out to anyone watching that's from like whatever community, we're not like, this isn't like a drama slop kind of channel. This is just kind of like a special occasion, just because it happened.
There's stuff,
like,
there's drama happening,
yeah.
and it's might as well report on it. We reported on it.
Well, you
before.
might as well talk about it. Yeah.
Alice Bowman, notorious husband. Yep. Notorious husband, because I was stumbling over my word. Shit's about to get real. I hope it doesn't. I hope this kind of blows over and, you know, Alice gets to share her side of the story and we don't get any blowback from the Homestuck team, but we'll see.
I don't even think they're going to be watching. They're not going to care.
Who cares?
But if you are interested in us, just watch our episode on the pilot. It's kind of more of a traditional podcast episode, and it's I think it's good. I think it has a lot of good introspection. Sorry. A lot of good, you know. It's just a good episode. Anyway.
So let's do this quick recap.
Yeah, so for anyone who's been living under a rock or doesn't really care, I'm just going to kind of go over the timeline of everything that's happening, and anyone can feel free to correct me if I'm off on this. But if you might remember, I think we streamed like 2 weeks ago where we had, we were talking about the Homestuck Discord getting taken down, the Macon Discord, HSD.
Mm-hmm.
So that got taken down due to a copyright strike because they were streaming, you know, like Disney shows and/or as watch parties, which I don't know.
I think that's just a guess. I don't think that's like, yeah.
So
the screenshots were really just seeming like they were reporting them for anything and everything.
Right. So a mod in the official Homestuck Discord, OHD, they whistleblowed that that the mods in that channel were mass reporting HSD, and they told Macon. Macon made a Reddit post with these logs. We kind of went over that, and made the claim that they're trying to hostile take over the subreddit. Now, OHD's side was that they were reporting, but they were reporting over, their defense was that they were reporting over just general harassment and not copyright. And they say that they're innocent because, you know, it got taken down for copyright, which, if I can recall, Macon tried to contact Homestuck Discord, or tried to contact Discord for clarification on what it was actually taken down for, and as far as my knowledge, he never heard back from them. Is that correct?
I think there was like a generic form letter response, like, I don't know, months ago, and there's nothing. There hasn't been anything since then that I'm aware of. Yeah.
Wow.
So
it's like we're using the legal system, but then it just goes nowhere. Interesting.
Yeah.
So as far as anyone knows, no one really knows the real textbook paper reason why it got taken down, other than it just vaguely said copyright, which could mean anything. It could mean copyright of Hussey's material, or it could mean copyright of something being streamed on there. It could. No one really knows because there's no clarification, right?
Yeah, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. It got taken down.
Yeah, it does kind of matter because it's like now people are kind of arguing over like who took it down and stuff.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of where the mystery is. So they were spreading a video from a guy named Rip Bozo with screenshots of like bad stuff that was said on HSD, and along with an ex-mod who had like a bad post history. And then so
yeah,
for
I saw
that
some
reason,
of those screen caps were going back to 2020.
Right.
I'm like,
oh, okay. Quick note on the Rip Bozo video, right?
Tell me.
So that originally dropped on the very same day that the Homestuck Discord server went down. and yeah, like later in the day. So it was already gone when the video went up, and also they posted about it immediately on Frap, the forums, which I found out later. But supposedly it's supposed to be a I don't know, a concerned citizen, let's just say. It's not supposed to be somebody associated with the official team. This is just a random burner account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inside of the video is mostly just people, saying unfunny, like, death threat adjacent type stuff. And all of those people they have their names redacted in the video. These like random people posting these things, they're anonymized, but I think notably there were a couple names that aren't anonymized. I don't remember most of them, but specifically Macon's name is left as is. There's one message from Michael saying like, oh, I guess the clown outfits are unironic, right? That for some reason that's left unanonymized. And also me, I'm also in there with my name just out in the open. So that was like the first time I noticed that, like, that someone might be onto me. But anyway, that's all I know about that.
I didn't even
but
know
yeah,
about
that video
Bozo
came out the
until
same
now.
day.
So, question: how long have you been a mod on HSD?
Oh, I think like October. I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, so
something
not
like
not
that.
long.
Not very long. There was like it was after. Yeah, I think it's October. The very last group of mods, like Macon does this thing where it called a reckoning, where he like fires in quotes fires all the mods and just like replaces them with random other people that
Okay.
Yeah, but I literally just got put on the team.
Okay. As we all know, a Discord mod is the highest prestige any American citizen can reach. So I congratulate you on your promotion.
Ban people. I want you to know that. I can only mute people and like delete messages in 2 channels. Okay.
Yeah. So how long have you been like involved in the community, kind of?
Okay, so I read the comic all the way back in 2012, but I never actually engaged in the fandom. I didn't join any, communities. I didn't really talk to other fans until I want to say 2023. 2021. 2021 was when I first joined the Homestuck unofficial server, Macon server, for the first time. I hopped in. I was like, everyone here is so rude. Left. And
Yeah.
and then that was when I first joined Michael's fan server, where I hung out there for a while. For a while before I actually met him in person. And then after I met him, I came back into the Homestuck server just to see see what people were saying about him. I wanted to see what the fans were up to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah, that makes
you
sense.
gotta.
Yeah, I'd wanna.
So that was
I'd wanna
so
know.
I was basically like not active at all until 2023, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
So
quickly to go back on the recap. So we left off where they got they were copywriting strike Machin's channel and the Discord server. We got the Rip Bozo. Now we have HSD has a secondary server up currently, and then eventually the official Homestuck Discord just drops a huge document calling out Dave Cat sucks and Mackin and Geo, saying everything that they said in there. I'm not gonna talk about the validity of any of those, but then
yeah, I read through it. It's basically their argument was that all these sources create essentially like an ecosystem of harassment targeting Andrew. There's a lot of emphasis on just like everyone. It's almost like a syndicate. They kind of frame it, and yeah, it's just it's weird. I mean, the stuff they said about. I mean, we're not gonna talk about Dave Cat sucks that much, but the stuff they said about that guy, probably.
Yeah,
I mean, I agree. I agree. You know, you
it's
can't really be saying that stuff online,
yes,
personal.
I think the issue with the Homestuck community issues call out doc, which is what it is that it kind of just it's kind of like spaghetti at the wall. It just like brings up all sorts of random people that have nothing to do with each other.
Right.
Like, I can't
fucking
really.
Phoebe.
I don't know these people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's kind of its own thing. Did you guys already talk about that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that came out. That document actually came out after our stream, so we didn't like
Oh.
deep dive through it.
no, but I do remember they were
yeah.
calling out Phoebe and the fact that she
Oh.
talked about Geo back in 20.
Well, I think it's probably better to like not point out individual people who aren't really involved anymore.
Yeah.
That is one thing that it
Yeah.
feels like they probably should not have named random individuals by name in their doc. I'd rather not go there.
Yeah, Phoebe's just an old friend of ours.
Oh, right.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and she's
mean,
been on this podcast in the past, but
we have to clarify. That was. I mean, I can't really speak for it because I wasn't there, but that was before the big drama with her happened. I mean, she was just a fan mentor artist, right?
that is true, and
She was just a friend of. So
she's fucking disappeared.
we have to like.
We don't need to worry about her no more. Anyway, yeah, they were bringing up random people. Like I said, they were bringing up somebody from 2020 who hasn't been involved in a long time. Was my point with bringing up Phoebe there. But then, while lurking in the new Homestuck Discord, we someone screenshots some messages of you, Alice, and then they email your husband that he can't work on Homestuck 2 or any Homestuck stuff unless he makes you give a public apology. Is that correct?
Okay, so let's kind of start from. Okay, so first of all, none of the screenshots are from the official server. They are collected from 3 different other servers. There are 6 messages from the new Homestuck Discord that was made like 2 weeks before this email showed up, and 7 messages from the old Homestuck Discord server, which were taken. By the way, they were the screen caps were taken before I got made a moderator. You could see in the screen cap that I wasn't a mod yet, and I want to say 12 of the screenshots were actually from Michael's own fan server, which has an application to get into. So between these 3 servers, only the old Homestuck Discord server actually had any mods from the official team in the server itself. The new server and Bowman's own server both don't have any mods from the official team. Like, well, on their mains, they don't have any official people in the servers themselves. So the email shows up on, I think, like, I don't know, May 3rd. And it's a list of screenshots from these 3 random locations of things I've said over the course of the last year and a half, which the email goes out of its way to point out that it's over the course of a year and a half, which I want to, like, give you the timeline here. We haven't been married for that long yet. There's the oldest screenshot. The oldest quote from me actually predates our wedding by 3 months.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, wow.
So they're really scraping the barrel for anything here.
Yeah. So they've gone across like 3 communities, 2 of which none of them are like openly a actual member of, and they're going back over the course of a year and a half. And before this email had not been in touch since, I want to say, last September. So I don't know if you want to get into that right now.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that in a second after
Sure,
this.
okay.
Yeah, we just kind of wanted to give you
We're
the
gonna go into detail.
we just kind of wanted to go over it, but then I'm gonna let JoJo.
Sure.
Yeah. So thank you for the clarification on that, but I'm gonna let JoJo take on some interview questions, and let's just get to know you, Alice. We've been talking about this, but let's know who Alice is. Who is Alice Bowman?
Yeah. I mean, like, all of the drama and the situation aside, let's focus on like some nicer stuff. Like,
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you said when you first read Homestuck, but do you have a favorite character?
I don't know. I'm basic. I like Dave.
I don't think that's
Classic.
basic. I think that's valid.
Basic would be like John, in my opinion. The first character.
John too. I think John's fine. I think Michael's favorite character is John. Actually,
No one likes
I like
John
Dave.
anymore.
John, do what I say. Okay, so you love Dave. All right. What's your what version of Dave? Like, what act was he the best in your opinion?
Okay, this might be actually. I think my favorite version of Dave is actually Dave Sprite. That's it. I don't know the actual like Dave himself. I don't know. Maybe I should just say that my favorite character is Dave Sprite. I don't know.
Dave Sprite. I like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we love Dave Sprite here.
Yeah, I was a little upset that like Dave Sprite technically stopped existing because of
Yeah.
Dave Petta, but let's
Oh man, I could talk about that for a while.
Do you have any like fandom contributions, any like fan works or anything that you've done?
Not really known. I tried. Okay, so back in 2012, all of my friends were other artists, and they were all trying to get famous on Tumblr, following the like update culture thing around Homestuck. So they were all
I
just
know
like
it well,
skimming.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So they were just all skimming the most recent update as it was coming out to like try to like be the first person to draw fan art of something. I never really got in on that because the first update that came out after I caught up with the comic was Openbound. So I drew like a random like Hankry, and then I was like, okay, nobody cares about any of these characters, so I just completely gave up. After that, though, I was following Cyclonials as it was coming out, and I ended up actually drawing a bunch of fan art for Cyclonials, which I think if you like Google Cyclonials and like just scroll down on Google Images, you'll probably be able to find some of my stuff.
Yeah, I think I
That's
found.
pretty
I actually, yeah, we wrote that down because
Oh,
I was curious. I was like, I wouldn't peg you as a Cyclonials fan, to be honest.
you know, I really liked it when it came out, but partly I didn't have any context for any of the drama. I think that like knowing more backstory like makes Cyclonials more interesting, but I don't know if it makes it better.
Definitely, it's definitely interesting, but I wouldn't call it good. It's
Alice is
I
a bit
yeah.
loud and the other hosts are quiet. I can change that real quick.
Are we
Can
having
you-
some technical difficulties?
Yep, I fixed it. Okay.
Good. Here, can you show this, Con? I'm gonna put it in the channel. General. It's on your screen.
Some of Alice's art here.
Yeah. That was
Gorgeous.
the
That is very good. I did some art. I did some really bad fan art for Cyclonials in the past. I attempted to draw, but it just didn't work. This is great. And I've heard that you have your own art accounts or anything. So why don't you plug those if you want to get some new followers here?
Oh, I think my handle is just Cocoderma on all of them, which is Afish, COCCODERMA. I think that's all of them. Oh,
Where did your username come from?
oh, it's a fish. It's a coelacanth. It's the genus name of a type of deep sea lobefin fish. I don't know. It's just fun.
I like that. I like that name.
Did
So
you show the drawing on your
Oh, is it?
Sorry. Did you show the drawing on the stream?
It should be up right now, or is it just watching Hive?
It's
is-
just Hive Swap for me.
Oh,
Or-
lame. I can't go and fix the stream right now.
That's why I wanted to do it. But I couldn't get running, so I can't really be one to talk.
Yeah, you wanted to do it, but you couldn't do it, so I gotta do it.
Well,
I gotta fucking do everything around here. God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. All right. Anyway,
Right. But okay, so how are we gonna have we have to look at this email, so you're gonna have to have that on screen.
yeah, someone give me a post. I might be able. Well, if they're only doing Hive Swap, I should be able to get to that. So which emails are we talking about specifically? This K-Pie one that you just posted?
The one I posted in general, the real one,
Okay.
the tweet.
It's capturing a specific window. That's my problem. Here we go.
In general, the real one,
Okay.
the tweet.
All right.
Are we good? Can we see what needs to be seen?
I hope so.
No.
It's still just Hive Swap on the stream, I think.
I am so bad at streaming. Here we go. See.
In general.
I mean, that's okay. While you figure that out, I can run through some of our other fun little
Yeah, go
yes no
ahead.
questions. Can we see what needs to be seen? Alice,
hope
did you have
so.
a favorite
No.
act in Homestuck?
It's still just Hive Swap.
Ooh,
I
I
want
wanna
to
say
say
Act
Act
4,
4, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I am so bad at streaming.
Yeah,
Can you tell us
I
what?
liked it. Well, I don't remember. This is actually really hard. Okay. Okay, so I haven't reread the comic all the way through since 2020. It's starting to really not remember at this point. I just I liked the kids. I thought it was I thought like the whole like, the first major, time skip thing with like Dave going forward with the like cow sprite and then having to go back. That was really crazy. I thought that was like a major like tone setting moment where you realize for the first time that like the whole story could just have you've been following the wrong track basically by following these characters and you have to go back. And I thought that was like a really interesting way of telling a story. It was like I want to say it was like a very early like retcon kind of thing, but sorry, I don't remember any details.
Oh no, it's I mean, I think it almost feels like a bit of a mean question to ask because like I myself haven't. I think I also reread it in 2020.
Right.
Because I was reading it in 2013, 2014. And I reread it in 2020 because, what else was there to do? And I think I also struggled to remember what events were specific to which act. Because it's been so long, right? And it's a long fucking comic, There's a lot of pages.
Yeah. I want to say, okay, I do remember like my favorite moment in the comic was do you remember where Vriska goes off to like well, actually, no, it was like where Terezi ends up killing Vriska, right? And then like John is just typing into her text box and or sorry, I got it backward. Sorry. It was Vriska was typing at John and basically saying, you're such a good influence and you're like, inspiring me to like try to be better, and then like she gets killed right after that. I cried, okay? That was like a major like that was like a really emotionally intense moment for me. Like,
I totally feel you. I think that's one of the most emotional moments in the comic, and part of my kind of disappointment with how it ended or at the end, I feel like it never really got to that level of emotion. I feel like every time it would get to like an emotional moment, it would be like undercut with something stupid or something. I feel like it was always afraid to take itself seriously after Act 5,
I think so too. I think that having that bit of character development like undermined really hurt Vriska as a character. I thought it was tragic that she is killed in the middle of having a character development moment, but then, just undoing the whole thing and like rolling back to even before she has that revelation kind of felt cheap, I think.
Yeah, people shit on the epilogue, but I do like how it does try to get back into more emotional moments, even if it doesn't land for everyone. I think the attempt is is valid. Like the part where I don't know if you've read the epilogues, but there's a part where Kanaya's leaving, or Rose is leaving Kanaya. I think that's like, oh, okay, that's actually kind of heavy a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like that it does, or everything with John and Terezi is all like kind of really high emotional. I like that it goes there and it's not like, of course there are stuff that's like undercuts it with jokes and stuff, but I think I liked it when it gets a little more heavy and it's like a little less unapologeable,
I thought the drama was well written in the epilogues, and I thought that I don't know, I could get into this for a long time. Let me see if I can like narrow down what I'm trying to say. I think that each character is still responsible for their own actions, even though the narrative tells you that it's actually Dirk who makes them take these actions. And I think that treating it as if Dirk just kind of brainwashes them and makes them do things they didn't want to do, that doesn't feel honest to me. I think all of the characters give very believable justifications for the actions that they take in the story, and I don't know. I don't even think that's really controversial, but I feel like a lot of people don't see it that way.
I think it's because the writers don't. I mean, it's hard to talk about the epilogues and then Homestuck 2 and Beyond Canon because it's like 3 different projects with 3 different directors. They all kind of have subtle but like important differences that people don't really figure out. Like Dirk's power set is different in the epilogue. It's more like a insidious, like kind of psychic, like it's almost like it's like the voice in the back of your head. That's kind of how it's treated. It's not really it is kind of like, I think it's smart where it is kind of like, yeah, he is directly writing the prose, but he isn't forcing anyone to do anything, if that makes sense. He's more like how it works in universe. There's an in-universe explanation. They even talk about it. It's like he's like it's a suggestion, that's how he manipulates things. He's not like, and then Karkat does this literally. It's more like, you know what I mean?
All right.
And they fight back against it, and I think it's like it's cool from like a narrative point of view. It's like it's just like kind of a cool concept. And then Homestuck 2 is just like, oh, I'm literally writing Homestuck. And it's kind of boring.
Dunk, where are we at with the stream? Are we sorted?
We should be.
All right. So you know what to do?
Yeah. What are we gonna? So what is our? Do we want to look at the emails now?
Yeah, I think we should. I think we're.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
It's been about a half hour.
Just let you guys talk.
Yeah.
Okay. Will this work? I'm trying to check my screen. Caches. Nothing fucking works.
Just close out Hive Swap.
Here we go.
I can see it on the bottom.
I can see 2 Hive Swaps.
Yeah.
Maybe this. What the fuck? Whatever. I'll close Hive Swap.
Just close it. Yeah. And don't have your Discord open. Just open up the Twitter link.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. No, I see you're opening up the pictures from my message on Discord.
It's fine. We got it right here.
No, open up. No, you don't want people seeing your Discord.
Just
open up. Just
brother,
click the link in Chrome.
Move on. We have it up.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I don't want my Discord shown.
The show must go on.
You could just
Anyway,
Just
we good?
open up
We're
the
good? Yes, we're good.
individual messages. Yeah. Okay. So here
No,
you
just-
can see, first of all, yeah.
I'm sorry, but why don't you just open the Twitter link I sent you?
Alex, it's fine. Just
You gotta flip it turn ways. Yeah. Open the Twitter link. It's easier that way. Is it? You don't want to show your Twitter? That's cool.
I don't have a Twitter. I can't open it.
Okay.
Okay,
but
then-
this-
okay,
this
then
is
I
fine,
will
this is
take-
fine. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, this is fine. Let's just
Image
keep
is already
doing it
open.
this way.
Okay,
Image is already open.
alright. Yeah, but there's like multiple ones, so he's gonna have to keep going to Discord and opening them up.
Well, do you need to like set it up first? Just behind the Hive swap? Do you have like another screen you can do this on?
No, he doesn't have another screen. That's why I was supposed to do it. But it's okay.
Here, let me give it a shot. I apologize, everybody. I'm very bad at streaming.
Well, I could just start talking about the very first
Just go ahead.
image.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll get it worked out.
Yeah, okay, so I made a mistake redacting the top email. There were people who were asking, like, how can you be certain that this is actually, like, a burner email? Well, it was a proton.me, like, proton mail email account. We've never met anybody called KPI. Nobody ever took responsibility for, like, sending this. But yeah, it was a burner account that first emailed us, or I say us. It first emailed Michael back in September, like a month after the pilot teaser dropped, where he had tweeted about saying like, so are they gonna make this show without Suburban Jungle? Because we had never heard anything about this show. About a month after that, we got an email, which I actually have attached in the here. If you wanted to open it, you can, but it doesn't really have any extra information. Basically, they said, we noticed that you were tweeting about wanting to work with us again. That was all it said. It said that people at Homestuck noticed that Michael was tweeting about Homestuck and expressing interest in working on the property again. And it said, it seems very surprising. Like we had no idea you wanted to work on Homestuck again. And
Was he doing that?
Huh? It was just the
Was he doing
tweet about Urban Jungle. You know the tweet I'm talking about?
Yes.
Back in August, on August 9th, there was a tweet that he made. And then underneath that tweet, he had talked about, the union busting incident back in 2011, 2010, with the release of Volume 6. And this email came after that and said, if you really do want to work on Homestuck again, like on this, if you want to if you want to contribute to the show, then you can't talk about your fellow creatives negatively on social media like you have done. And here's a direct quote. We are not trying to box you out. This is not a rejection. It's a situation I would genuinely like to change if possible. I'd imagine that you would like to change it too. So it says we can start by restoring the albums on Bandcamp to the way that they used to be before 2019 as a kind of olive branch. And but you have to stop posting about us, right? This was back in September. So, oh man.
What?
Actually, yeah.
Why do they care? I don't understand.
Care about what?
Like,
Why do they care about what?
Care about the fact that like they're talking you're talking shit. I don't know. Like, what's going?
Well, I guess they noticed. I mean, this has been kind of the consistent like through line here, which is that they like go out of their way to seek out people saying negative things about them, and then try to like pressure you to stop somehow, right?
Yeah.
Did any of them reach out to you personally?
Me, no, never. I've
Right,
never
okay.
spoken to anyone from the official team. I think I don't know, I've pinged Vibri and like Monroe twice in the server about either like a shitpost or actually like I asked Vibri once about the Bandcamp being down one time. That was it. I've not otherwise spoken with them. They've never reached out to me. I don't clearly they have my information. They clearly have my Discord account. They can message me if they want to. My DMs were open.
But they decided to go to your husband instead.
Right. Going through. So this was so after that initial email, we didn't know if this was like actually from Homestuck or if it was a troll, because it could be, because this is a burner email, right? So Michael responded to them saying, "You still owe us money. You're like a year behind on royalty payments at this point," and doesn't he doesn't mention the oh, you have to stop talking shit part. He just says, "Hey, you guys owe us money." And immediately, like hours later, everyone on the music team that we checked with, I guess, receives a royalty payment that same day. And then so we know that this is actually from Homestuck because of that. Otherwise, it could have just gone into the spam folder and like, who knows? And then we get another reply from this email saying like, "Oh, well, you didn't tell us that." You didn't tell us that you weren't getting paid, which I don't know. That seems like a you problem. That seems like a skill issue.
Yeah, it's their responsibility to pay you first.
So,
Okay, yeah.
question. I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that they? Well, first of all, do they have to ask for every Homestuck song? Does every creator own the rights for their individual songs?
On the comic itself, yes. I can't say for any of the albums that Michael did not take part in, but for the albums that he is on, I can say with 100% certainty that all of the musicians own their own copyright for their songs.
So for the pilot, if they want to use any of the music or sample or anything, they would have to go through each individual musician, right?
Yes. In order to have it cleared, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that they didn't reach out to Michael? Did they say if like they didn't reach out specifically because of things you've said, or just because the pilot doesn't include Suburban Jungle?
They've never talked about that. They haven't said anything about that.
Because I feel like that would be a kind of a bit of a mix up, because I think Michael, I mean, I'm not gonna speak for him, but I feel like he might have felt like they were deliberately, but it could have just been a misunderstanding at that moment, because there's no way he could have known that it was going to end right before they launched Suburb, right? So
yeah, but why would they do that?
Yeah, well, why they did that, that's a whole. We talked about that in our episode. Like, what was the point of doing that?
I'm not going to like put any like unsubstantiated theories out there. It's a question. It's a very good question. What do they plan on doing for the theme song of the pilot? Very good question. Turns out there is no theme song. So, that answers that question.
Right. So, do you think sorry, momentary brain fart. I did have a prepared thing to say. Fuck. Dude, it literally blew
Okay, in that
past
case, I'm gonna snipe you.
Yeah.
So had they not sent this specific email, excuse me, would Michael still be interested, or like would he have still been interested in working with the Homestuck team?
Sure, why not? I mean, so back to the timeline real quick. Michael has always he's never not been interested in making new content for Homestuck, The last thing they ever asked him to make was Constant Conquest for the Cherubim album that came out in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
There have been other albums that came out since then, but he was not asked to be on them. There was the Volume 10 album, which was organized by RJ and was originally supposed to be a fan album that Michael said, we've already gotten in trouble for making a fan album in the past, which was the Jailbreak album. And he said, unless there is official paid work to do, like, with Andrew's permission, I don't want any part of it. After he leaves the planning server or whatever for the Volume 10 project, somehow James Roach gets involved and turns the Volume 10 project into an official project, and nobody got in touch with him about it having become official. So I think it was Marcy Neighbors who has a song on Volume 10 that is credited as it's her production of a medley that Michael had arranged back in 2012 when they were doing the real life Homestuck band thing in person.
Now,
and I think she cleared that with him, and that was like basically how he found out that there was even a Volume 10 happening at all. He wrote the song Jungle Boogie to basically apply to be on Volume 10, but he was told that all of the slots are full, so he couldn't be in it. That was the last time. And then later there was like the Beyond Canon album that also nobody talked to him about. I have no idea who organized that. And nobody talked to him about Hive Swap either, even though again in 2012 he had traveled to the East Coast and met Andrew Hussey in person, and where he had asked Andrew what things they had planned coming up on the horizon. Andrew said that there was a video game on the horizon, and Michael asked him, well, who are you planning to work with for this? Are you, can I be involved, basically?
Sorry, when
and
was
Andrew
this?
Said,
what year
2012.
was this? 2012. Okay.
2012.
Okay, so that was a long time ago.
so I had a question though. You mentioned
Oh,
that.
no. Or sorry, she was going on.
Let me just finish
let me finish that.
So Andrew had actually said, I will work with the people who I've already collaborated with, which, Michael took to be a promise that he would get to be involved with making music for Hive Swap. And, he had gotten in touch with, he didn't, I think, after that point, he'd sent messages to Andrew about the development of Hive Swap, saying hey, I want to work on this. But Andrew had already ghosted by that point. He got no response, and of course, he's never been involved with Hive Swap. So these are all things that have happened over the course of the last 13 years. He has not been reached out to make anything Homestuck related since 2013. And so I think it was reasonable to assume that he had been fired at that point, right? Just to, this has been I met him 10 years after the last thing he made for Homestuck.
Yeah, I would say he was fired at that point. If I haven't been talked to in years, man, we're done. Our relationship's over.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. So what was his response? What was Michael's response to that first email from them about
he said, right. Yeah. He, just to paraphrase, he had said, I don't have the email in front of me, I guess. To paraphrase, he says that the royalties for the Bandcamp are meant to be sent out quarterly, and that they were a full year behind schedule for, paying them out. And that's all he talked about. He talked about the royalties, and he talked about the fact that the Bandcamp was out of order and a bunch of albums were missing.
But so in that original email, they said, I have it here. They said, the part about the box you out, that's kind of the first time they bring up the stuff he said. Like, what did he say about that?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Con, what was your question from earlier?
My question would there be any reason why when the volume 10 came out, Roach made it official, but then never contacted Alex again? Do you know why they might?
What you mean, Michael?
Michael, sorry, I'm terrible at names. My brain's good. Michael, they never contacted Michael again. Do you think there's any reason behind them not contacting him?
Well, I can't. I only have speculation. I wasn't there. Like I said, I only met Michael like 3 years ago.
Okay.
I wasn't there for any of that old stuff. I can only tell you what he's told me.
Yeah, so if there's no answer, you don't have an answer. That's fine. That was my question.
But I do think that pretty consistently, the last time that Andrew really interacted with the music team was around the Volume 6 walkout. Which I guess to quickly summarize it, I think the Felt album was the first album that had new contracts where the musicians were paid one time at a flat rate, but What Pumpkin would be able to keep selling the music indefinitely, right? So you get one payment and then they just keep the rest of the royalties forever. This was an album that Michael was not involved in. He was busy making Mobius Strip at the time. And when he came back for Volume 6, he noticed that the contracts were different. And at the time, I think What Pumpkin said that this is a flat payment for now with the option to renegotiate down the line. And Michael, objected to this, and most of the musicians withheld and didn't sign their contracts, which caused the album to be delayed by 5 days. It was supposed to be a New Year's Day release, and I think it came out on the 5th instead. Toby Fox was the one who said, you shouldn't treat this like a job, and he defended Andrew's decision to change the pay structure to a one-time flat payment, even though What Pumpkin does not put up any money to actually produce the music, right? And that's the product. The product is the music. I think the musicians who make 100% of the tracks should get royalties for the songs being sold, indefinitely. It's just kind of, I don't know.
That's a one-time payment's a raw deal.
After that happened, right? Yeah. So after that happened, right? They ended up winning the thing that they renegotiated. I think they renegotiated with a slightly higher cut for What Pumpkin to accommodate for the cost to do the accounting, basically. And then after that, Toby was made the manager of the music team, and Andrew stopped talking to the rest of the musicians. And they had to go through Toby, and they said, "Hey, Toby, can we make this album? Can we make that album? Can we do this project?" And Toby would say let me ask Andrew, and then have no answer, basically. So that was basically the end of the highly collaborative, high output nature of the music team. I think this was already covered in Drew's interviews with the music team 8 years ago.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably.
So I because we're kind of running out of time, I do want to get to the stuff.
It's already been an hour.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. So Con, go ahead and go to OBS.
Sure.
So just click OBS. There should be a little eye icon on the display capture.
There.
So you could turn off the display so that people can't see anymore, and then open up Discord, and then I put in every single image that's in the tweet and just open those up on Google like you did before, and then you should be good to go. Yep.
All right, I'll get those going.
Yeah.
Just give me a second on that.
Yeah. So I just wanted to point while you're doing that, I do kind of, I mean, this might be a little bit of a hardball kind of, but
Go ahead.
I do kind of want to be fair to what probably a little bit. I do have this feeling I could see like when the pilot dropped and they sent that email saying, hey, you said some stuff. There is like a question of like, well, it seems like this, the relationship between you and Hussey probably did not end in a good way. So it's like, do you still want to work on this? Like, I mean, if you don't like the guy, like, why do you want to work? I do have that kind of energy. I can understand where they're coming from. So, but I also feel like maybe it should have been up to Hussey to clear that up.
At no point did Michael ever actually say, "Hey, please let me work on this thing."
Right.
He didn't. The emails kind of take this for granted. They assume he wants to work on this. It's on the table. Like it's not on the table. But at no point did Michael ever actually say, "I want to make new stuff for Homestuck."
Right.
This is kind of an assumption on their part. They're not wrong, but it is an assumption.
Yeah, it's a misconception people, especially on the forums, are having that he wants to. They have to, if they want Suburban Jungle, they have to go through him. Like it's he owns that song.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a misconception. So when Michael's like, well, they haven't talked to me in like 13 years, it's not really him like shit talking. It's just like, how are you gonna get this? How are we gonna make this thing work if this relationship is not stable? In my opinion,
right.
I felt like.
So actually, I do want to add one more thing. Just in 2025, he actually did get in touch with Cindy, James, and also Toby and Andrew. This is for unrelated things. James he got in touch with because James was saying that there would be a vinyl. So they talked about that a little bit. There's no vinyl yet, so I don't know. Cindy, he asked her about the royalties. He had talked to Andrew about the Bandcamp as well as the royalties. Oh, no, sorry, just the Bandcamp. He talked to Andrew about just the Bandcamp, and I think after that email, a couple of the solo albums got put back up onto Bandcamp, but then it didn't get finished. It wasn't finished getting fixed when that happened. This was I think March, April 2025. And I think in earlier that year, I think or maybe it was December 2024, he'd gotten in touch with Toby about clearing 2 collab songs that were put out on Bowman Stuck. Toby gave his okay for that, so those are out on streaming. And so the thing is, before that, they hadn't been in touch for 12 years. But just in 2025, he had happened to be in touch with all of the people who were involved with the pilot, and none of them felt the need to bring any of this stuff up, and I guess in hindsight, I guess they didn't use Suburban Jungle, so they didn't bother clearing it with him. But I do think that Michael's been there since the start,
Yeah, but then what about later in the series if they use Suburban Jungle later?
Right.
They're still going to have to go through them. And if they miss Suburban Jungle on the pilot, or not in the pilot, in the main series, that is a big L.
It's not just that one, too. Michael also did Explore, too, which is, I think, another really kind of an underrated, really big one, which is, if you don't remember, it's end of Act 2.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I think that's kind of
WBSN,
when people get, really into Homestuck. I think that it's an important song.
Yeah. I mean... Yeah. This whole situation is just kind of I'm finding it a little ridiculous. They're kind of dredging up. They're dredging up Michael, who they've effectively ghosted for over a decade because his wife was talking smack. and they're blackmailing him.
So
let's get into the smack talk.
yeah.
Yeah,
Let's get
I have
let's get into some of the things.
I have the screenshots up.
Let's get into some of these nasty, horrible things you've said.
Yeah, so right off the bat, the very first screenshot is actually about Toby.
Yeah, just let me know when you want me to move on.
This is true. I had heard from my art friends years ago that they didn't really like working with Toby, or that somebody down the line had said something like that. I don't know. But of course, now if I say it, I'm married to someone who actually knew him. So, like I said, if I say this now, I have a conflict of interest. I don't know. The screen cap speaks for itself. I already explained why I'm saying this.
I mean, I'd also ask about the time frame of when this was happening. When were people having a hard time working with him? Because it's
I don't know. This was on Undertale. It must have been on Undertale. I'd heard about this years ago. I don't really know.
I mean,
Can you zoom in a little bit,
early Deltarune. I don't know. This was, like I said, it was years ago, and I don't even know who knows someone who worked with him. It's so deep on the grapevine that it doesn't really matter. This was something I was just kind of saying randomly in Discord.
Can you zoom in a little bit? Yeah,
I am zoomed in, aren't I?
Okay. Yeah. Can you go back to the first one? I want to.
But the second one is more interesting. The second one is.
Yeah. Why don't we move on to the second one?
Oh yeah. We can do the second one.
What? I mean the second screen cap from the first image.
Oh, second screen cap, first image. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just read what I specifically say, right? I said, Andrew ghosted us halfway through fixing it, as in the Bandcamp, and started posting Instagram thirst traps right afterward. They had literally asked Michael for a list of changes that the Bandcamp needs and said, okay, I'll get to this in a week, back in May. I post this message in September, so 4 months after. Actually, I was wrong. It turned out that it was back in April. Anyway, so it was 5 months after Andrew had already ghosted, and I felt like I could say this in Michael's own fan server. This is a screenshot from Michael's server, and the email lets us know that this is untrue. Actually, Andrew didn't ghost you, and then it describes how Andrew ghosts us.
I love when they tell on themselves.
Right. This is actually not something any of us had accused them of doing, but here in this email, it admits that Andrew specifically stopped updating the Bandcamp, which affects other musicians than just Michael himself. And the reason for stopping fixing the Bandcamp is because Andrew was concerned that Michael would share their communications with their stalkers.
I just don't understand. Why doesn't he just talk to Michael? I mean, it's it's just blowing my mind. It's he's so allergic to just talking to people. It's Michael isn't some glup shitto fan or something. He's a guy who worked on. He's fucking.
You've met him
there in 2009. Right. It's he's not some random. Just fucking.
So okay.
Even if Andrew, let me finish it. Even if Andrew thinks that Michael's being a shithead, whatever. Why can't he just be like, "Hey, bro, we good?" Why can't he do that? It's I don't get it. It's why do he has to be like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a pre-concerned judgment that Michael's gonna be doing these things," and then he ghosts him, and then Michael gets mad about the ghosting, and then they're like, "Oh, because he got mad about the ghosting, it proved that I should have ghosted him." It's
right. So the timing. Remember the timing here, right? The timing here is Andrew stopped talking to Michael because he was afraid that Michael would tell people about Andrew talking to Michael. And the proof that they use that I was sharing information about this, exchange is from literally 5 months after the end of this exchange. And I said that, if Andrew hasn't talked to us in 5 months, I consider that ghosting. And they're saying, well, you shouldn't have talked shit 5 months after the ghosting happened and called it ghosting.
The mental gymnastics of that is just staggering to me.
Many such.
There's a big pattern of
instances.
like Andrew coming to a conclusion about someone, then treating someone because of that conclusion, and then when someone gets mad about that treatment, he says that's why that justifies
Yes.
me doing it.
Yeah.
It's a pattern that's happened at least 5 times.
Glad that someone's keeping track, I guess.
Yeah, he's this. It all just kind of goes back to he is just terribly unprofessional. I've said this multiple times, but Hussey is just one of the worst project managers I've seen, because he can't even handle a simple dispute of like Bandcamp. He can't even handle that with grace. Like, come on, man.
I am going to wave a little flag right now and say let's not turn this too much into just like dunking on specific people. If we can stick to just going over the screenshots and explaining them from your perspective.
We ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah, I think we can
move on to the next one. This next one is pretty quick. It's just, I'm literally okay. So I think this was in. Do you have it?
I have it up now.
It's on a delay. It's
okay. Oh, okay. The next one is about music that Toby was publishing to Tumblr, and I think there was a glitch when he was trying to like upload it, and he said, "Oh, it's probably because of Content ID taking it down," which at the time, like his fans are all very anti-Content ID, and so this was also in Michael's personal server, where I said, is this is not how Content ID works, because Content ID is a proprietary YouTube service. Tumblr doesn't have Content ID. It cannot take anything down in the first place. It's just about revenue sharing. Anyway, I don't know. The email says Alice appears to not actually understand the situation. I don't know. It seems like you don't understand the situation.
Well, it's like
I'm just describing Content ID here in the screenshot.
Right.
I don't know why it's in here.
But really, what they're getting mad at you is just like, I mean, you're seeing something in the public news because this was a big story. You're just commenting on it. How is that a bad? Like, who cares? It's like a falsely like they're making it sound so serious, where it's just you just talking about it on a news story on Discord. It's like, it's like Toby's famous. I mean, it's like.
So after this screenshot, there is actually a secret extra screenshot that I had forgotten to include in the Twitter post, because honestly it's so long I just accidentally scrolled past it. It was actually about HiveSwap. I don't know if you saw me posting it in the Discord server earlier.
Yes, but... I see it.
Yeah.
I can open that later.
Yeah. I can just read it out. It says Alice directly accused Andrew of stealing money, and it's a quote from Alice saying, ContraPoint's videos about canceling Evergreen. I'm happy for the fandom to grow and for people to be excited about the comic, but it's now been 13 years since Andrew stole $2.5 million from over 24,000 fans, not including other back sources, and dipped. The longer it goes without mention, the less people care and the fewer people know about it. I can accurately say that Hussey has now stolen money from both me and my husband personally. And then the mysterious person says, this is completely false, as the team addressed in the recent article.
It's just a link back to the HCI call-out doc.
Yeah, it says, What Pumpkin has already released 2 games in the HiveSwap series and expects to be able to release the 3rd installment this year. They have explained the factors that have contributed to development delays, but to characterize this as stealing and to suggest that Andrew took the money and dipped verges on defamation.
I don't know. I mean, if you were in no communication and ain't got your money, I don't know. That kind of seems like stealing to me.
Well, got your game.
At this point, right, when I sent this message, it had been 13 years. HiveSwap was supposed to release in 2014. We all know how that turned out. And I think it's a mischaracterization of the email to describe Acts 1 and 2 of Hive Swap as 2 games?
No.
Yeah.
No, they're one game.
they're half a game,
Two parts.
technically.
Yeah, and like, well, I get it because on my Steam it says Hive Swap Act 1, Hive Swap Act 2.
Right, they're like listed separately.
And I have to pay for
Right.
them separately.
Well, okay.
Well, they're, yeah.
But like,
So
that's not a
I
game.
actually did. Right. Well, so I actually did back the Kickstarter, and they are like legally required to send us, all the Kickstarter backers, all 4 installments of Hive Swap. It's covered by the, amount that I originally paid to back the Kickstarter. So as long as they still have to keep sending us the next 2 installments, without me having to pay extra, that's 1 game.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement. That makes...
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think maybe theft could be a bit of a strong language moment. Sure. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's defamation. I think a lot of people have said this, and I do think I have to remind you that Andrew is banned from creating new Kickstarters from the website. So, because of this.
The thing is defamation, that kind of has like a whole legal weight to it. Defamation's a little...
I don't think this counts. I don't think this
yeah.
can be considered defamation at all.
Talking
First of
smack
all,
in
okay.
Discord is not defamation, which has so much legal bullshit you have to go through just to prove it.
Okay, so this was originally posted again in Michael's fan server, which has like 400 people in it. There were maybe 3 people reading what I was saying at the time. And actually, I didn't even include this in the Twitter call out, so I can't even say this had any material detriment to their ability to sell merch. I don't think this really affected their public image in any way whatsoever.
But yeah, it is a public. I mean, it was just a thing you said on your server event. I mean, there's probably been a lot of Hive Swap fans, people who backed the Kickstarter, who feel bad about it, and you can't. It's not defamation for someone who backed it and feels cheated to feel cheated. Now, I do think steal is kind of a stretch because I think
Loaded.
Hyperbole.
I think
what's loaded.
it is. I think what's
Hyperbole isn't...
is wasted. I'd say, or just failed to.
Badly
he
managed,
lost money.
maybe.
Anyway,
Yeah,
we don't have to. We don't have to really get into the
Right.
semantics of this. It's not that important.
Yeah.
I've
Right.
explained what the screen cap is. We can move on to
so
the
let's,
next one.
let's go look at the next one.
We
I
are
really
on
want
the
to get to the
next
Mormon one.
So go ahead and start talking
Okay.
about it.
Okay. So the third one, which is
Alice provides no proof of their complaint. Actually, speaking of Temmie, I heard, no source, I just heard, that someone was watching her on stream 6 months after Undertale release, and she mentioned that Toby hadn't paid her in full. Oh, that's rough.
This was someone in the actual Homestead community server who said this to me. I forgot who it was at the time. Actually, immediately under this, okay, so notice that the email says, a simple online search would show you that Temmie still works with Toby to this day. Well, actually, in the original screenshot here, in the conversation, immediately after this, somebody does mention, doesn't Toby still work with Temmie? And I said, yeah, clearly it wasn't that big of a deal for her, even at the time. It's just a thing that somebody said she said.
I mean,
well, yeah.
Pay me. So she hasn't gotten fully paid 6 months after Undertale's release.
Well, I don't know. I'm just saying.
That was-
Well, I'm
Okay.
saying that
Somebody
doesn't really. That's not even. That could just be any sort of thing where he has gotten the funds tied up. That's not an accusation.
not
of
a-
anything.
I mean, I don't know. Let's
cares?
not speculate too much.
No.
All I've heard is this.
If we speculate about it, it's feeding into the people who wrote this email.
Yeah, I'm
this
just
is
saying
a
this
really
is-
out of context conversation. I was actually
This is a nothing
in the
burger.
Discord. I was in the conversation. We obviously we were even talking about it in the conversation that they screen capped. This is a nothing thing. Just someone random person said that, and then Alice chimed in, and then we all agreed that claim would be stupid because Temmie has been working with Toby for the past 10
I
years.
don't know if it's a stupid claim. I mean, it doesn't seem like if this happened, clearly it wasn't that big of a deal
I think it's
for her or anything.
yeah, it's a nothing. It like she's
Right.
been working. She mentioned it casually on a stream. She wasn't pissed. It's not drama. It's like she's working on it. It's like
Yeah, this
no
is
one.
does seem
They're
like they
taking
were
it out
just-
of context. Like they're
Right.
taking. They're trying to say that you're trying to spread that rumor when you're not.
So the next one is me putting on a tinfoil hat in the screenshot. Me saying that, I said that I think there's the soundtrack to Hive Swap does not use any references to any of the soundtrack of Homestuck outside of like references to itself, right?
Mhm.
That's a fact. Well, I guess there's one song that like Clark was on, so it's not just James and Toby, but it does still like not reference anything that's not within the context of Hive Swap. That's just true. I followed the Homestuck Music Wiki. Shout out, great resource. And that's what it says up there. I believe it. I don't know why they say it's not true. It is true. I can't prove that it's intentionally excluding other musicians, but it is a fact that only Toby, James, and like I think Clark on one song, which I forgot about, are actually included in the Hive Swap soundtrack at this point.
This is just so silly. It's like it's an opinion. It's like they can't. It's not. They can't make you apologize for having an opinion. Like
Why?
even if it's right or wrong, it's like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. The next one is this was the context of this conversation was someone in Michael's fan server says, I want to cosplay Vriska. Do you think it would be okay? Do you think that like, would it be an okay thing to do? And I make a joke saying like, well, the most cursed thing you could probably run into as a Vriska cosplayer is if Andrew suddenly went to the UK for some reason. It's a joke,
Yeah.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
That's
Andrew
yeah,
likes
that is
Briscoe.
just a joke. I heard a story
Right.
somewhere that he does a thing.
I heard that Andrew gets offended when they meet people who haven't heard of Homestuck. So it would be really funny if you pretend not to know who Andrew is. This is also a joke. These are two jokes.
Yeah, and it's so funny. They're like,
This
this
is
is not
wild.
true. They don't have no proof of these stories. It's like, bro, what do you think we're on? Like, this isn't CNN. It's like it's just a joke.
We're on a fucking fan Discord server. Come on, man.
It's like we're just chatting. It's like, oh, you need receipts and proofs for this joke that Andrew gets offended. It's like,
Are we ready to move on to Mormonism?
Yeah.
okay, let's go. To the
I
next
want to
one.
hear about this Mormonism
I think we're
shit.
ready for the Mormonism joke.
Here, just surf through it and just skip to the one with
It's
the Mormons.
literally the next one. It's literally the
Is it
next
the
one.
next
I
one?
got it up.
Yeah.
I got it up already.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because
I don't know if you...
this is the one I was the most curious about because
I
I wasn't sure if it was in reference to something that happens in Cyclonials, because that's the one, because I've just not played it yet.
It is a reference to Cyclonials, actually. It's a reference to both Cyclonials and Homestuck itself. I have a screenshot of me talking about this just later in the same day. I don't know if it's later or earlier, but here's what I say. I wonder if he landed on this Mormon-esque, you become a god of your own planet after death thing independently, or if he knew any Mormon lore and got inspired by it. Regardless, it's clearly something a lot of people have thought about, this kind of weird sci-fi spirituality. So I was making a comparison. Between the fact that both Homestuck and Cyclonials have this in-story lore where once the characters die, they become gods and they get their own planets, right? This happens...
Yep.
Right, like
This happens in a lot of things.
We know this, right? So both of these stories have this, and this is also a part of weird niche Mormon lore, but I don't know if people really believe it. I think it's just something people like to joke about because it's so out there. The Book of Mormon musical makes multiple jokes about this too, right? So this is just a reference to that. I was saying that Homestuck and Cyclonials both feel a little spiritually Mormon, and I was saying that, so pushing Mormonism, like I
It's a
said,
joke.
is like reference to the fact that these stories have aspects to them that feel Mormon to me. That's it.
But he doesn't know any Mormon people.
I don't think that had anything to do with it, right? Like, I don't think you
Yeah.
need to know any Mormons to be able to like write something that either intentionally or coincidentally like coincides with the kind of like world building, the sci-fi kind of transcendentalist sci-fi magic kind of spiritual.
I just think it's
religion.
it's very funny that that in the Homestuck Jedi Council they
Uh-huh.
had to when they were looking at all these screenshots and going to Andrew and asking him questions, they had to ask him, do you know any Mormon people?
I don't feel like they needed to make the I don't think they needed to say that Andrew doesn't know any Mormons. I know Mormons. I used to
Thank God
live
we cleared
across
that
the
up.
street from some Mormons. They were nice. I don't know.
I'm just
I
gonna
don't really
say,
know them very well.
thank God we cleared this up. Thank God Andrew doesn't know any Mormons, because if he did know any Mormons, I don't think I would ever support him. I think it would crush me as a Homestuck fan if Andrew knew any Mormons. So I'm glad that Homestuck team has done us the favor to clarify.
Yeah.
Thank God that he doesn't know any Mormons.
Yeah, Homestuck fans notoriously hate the Church of the Latter-day Saints.
Yeah. So
Well-
we can all breathe a nice sigh of fresh air.
But
Andrew doesn't know any Mormons.
So to keep it going a little bit, I will also give a little heads up that the next section, or the next the things that Alice has been accusing of, I guess is the right phrase. I guess sexual misconduct is coming up as a topic apparently.
Do we want to touch on this, or would we like to skip it?
I can just read what Michael said here. This is the exact quote that he says, which I felt was honestly kind of. Yesterday, I had the craziest thing on my mind. I just wanted to tell Andrew he has no idea how much good his comic has done for people, and how much joy it's brought them, and how crazy it is that he seems to care nothing about the fact that he's changed the world for the better, and only thinks of where he can hunt down fresh viscosity. That line, I think that the people didn't like that last bit of the line, but like I do want to point out that this is a plot point in Homestuck. Andrew's author avatar chases after Vriska, the character. It's a reference to a story that it's a reference to the comic. That's all.
We've been making this joke over the place for Hussey Likes Vriska for over a decade now, and they're now bringing this up.
It's in the comic.
Exactly.
I don't know what else I can say about it.
No.
The next
I absolve.
Screenshot also, I don't know. I think the next one might be a little mean.
Just why does he keep Andrew's just an exhibitionist sub? Why does he keep writing overpowered huge bitch waifus into his comic whose entire personality is being overpowered? I mean, he does do that.
I think
this is about Snowman, right? This was about Snowman.
He got some girl bosses in Homestuck. I'm not gonna deny that.
Jade, Condense, God.
I'm having a hard time remembering this part of it.
Hey, remember that Terezi John scene in the epilogues?
Oh yeah, that one too.
Pretty good.
Hey, look, okay. The reason I say it this way. Let me just read this part of Andrew's own commentary. It's equally possible that she's just fucking with Slick because she loves to watch him suffer. Snowman is a mysterious figure, and when her motivations are in doubt, she's just fucking with you is as good an explanation as any. She and I are alike in this regard, and as such, she is my waifu. Come on, okay, I don't think it's unfair of me to describe Snowman as Andrew's waifu. This is a direct quote. Andrew says Snowman is their waifu. I don't know. I have no other... that's all I got.
This is another nothing burger, I'm feeling.
I do think... I don't know. I think it's very difficult to be public and very seen online, and maybe something that you joke about at some point in your comic then being like a joke that follows you. I can kind of understand why Andrew might be a bit like sensitive to it.
Once again, this is a screenshot from a year and 2 months ago in Michael's personal fan server.
This is
that no one from the official team is in that server. This is something I said, like, you know, I think we'd been married for 1 month at this point.
This wasn't supposed to come out.
I mean, it's not like I'm not embarrassed about saying it. I guess it's like it sucks that Andrew felt upset about seeing this, but I also don't know how they managed to, you know, see this in the first place. It just seems like you really had to dig to be able to find this.
This was a time period where you and Michael hadn't been contacted by them yet, and we're already pretty estranged. Yeah. So it's like, I mean, there wasn't even the thought of oh, I should clean up my like that. That's not even fair because you thought that you guys were done for like forever.
At this point, the last time Michael and Andrew had spoken at all was about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And you know, I only met Michael like in 2023. So for as far as I'm concerned, this is like I'm basically talking shit about like Taylor Swift here. I mean, you know, that's as relevant as it is. I don't expect, look, if I'm like talking about, I don't know, like if I say that like Harry Styles has poor taste in fashion, I don't expect Harry Styles to hunt down this podcast, hear me say that, and like get upset because I don't like his outfits. You know?
Yeah.
That's as relevant as it would be, you know?
I mean, I'm on that same page with you. It's just like, no offense, Alice, but like, who are you compared to this?
That's what I'm saying. Who am I? I'm not relevant to this whole thing. You know,
you're married to a guy who was relevant over a decade ago.
Well, as far as Homestuck is concerned,
as far as Homestuck is concerned, I'm sure in your personal life you guys are incredibly relevant to a lot of important and beautiful things. But Homestuck, I'm sorry, literally who?
Yeah, and I want to extend this to like the stuff you say later about redacted name. I mean, it's like this was before you guys were even in the talks of working. It's like it's just a lot of fans just do this. I mean, it's not a good thing, but it's like it's just something that it's not even that bad. It's just like I don't know how to describe it.
The amount of effort that they put together to get every potentially incriminating screenshot of every chat you've done in the last year
and a half is what the email says. Yeah.
How many hours have they put into this just to call you out?
More time than it took me to send these.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, on a professional level, like, I could understand the perspective of maybe being uncomfortable working with someone, and if them or their spouse are like very critical of you. But I also think that like this method of making like a very like Tumblr era call out post is, I think, just not the way to go about it, right? Like,
so actually, I didn't mention this, but 2 of the screenshots were actually taken on the very same day that they were posted. One was the Mormon one, and the other one I think is in the next image after this. Oh,
and remind me, how long ago was the Mormon comment?
Mormon
one was from July of last year, so I don't know.
Right. Okay.
7? No.
Yeah, okay. 7 something.
9 months ago.
I have to give a 5-minute warning because I do have to go in about 5 minutes.
All right.
I know we're like only halfway through. We might have to do a part 2. I don't know how much fun you're having, Alice, but yeah. Do we want to give like kind of closing thoughts? Because I do have to go.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Alice, I would like to know, just overall, how do you feel about this, about Vibri and the Homestuck team calling you out personally for all of your texts over the last year and a half that they've dug up?
I don't think Vibri. I just for clarification purposes, because I know I think they're watching. I know.
Oh,
I mean,
anyway,
I'm just clarification. Vibri, I don't think she specifically called out Alice. It's just this anonymous
Well,
person.
I
Okay,
don't
we'll
really-
cut out.
It doesn't, you know, whoever K-Pi is, I don't really care.
Right,
but-
whatever. But finish your thought.
Look,
Finish your thought,
okay,
Sean.
so I point out the fact that some of these were taken the same day I posted them because, you know, the way that Discord works, if you are in a server where you can take screenshots of what people are saying, that means you're in the server too, right? If you saw something I said the same day I sent it that is like upsetting enough to put into a call out doc, you know what you can do is just reply to that message and tell me that I'm wrong or that I shouldn't say it or something. Like clearly somebody involved in this is in the same community that I am in, where I was saying all of this, right? If you wanted to clear up the situation with whoever I spoke to at the time that I said these things, it's on even playing field to immediately correct the record, right? Instead of taking a screenshot and saving the screenshot for like 7 months or 9 months, I don't know, a long time, right? And then like holding on to it until you have like a big docket of like other receipts or whatever, and then like emailing my husband about it and saying that you know, if there isn't some kind of public apology for all of these things that I said, then he can't make new stuff for Homestuck. That is like definitely verging on blackmail, I want to say.
I'd
right?
say we're
I
in
don't
that
know,
territory.
Yeah, I think that if the actual purpose was to get me to be nicer or, you know, tell me to take back something I said, you could have just said it the same day I said it, you know? Could have told me to take it back immediately. I probably, whether I would have or not, I mean, that could have been a conversation. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who like are upset that we published this email you know, publicly because, oh, it could have been handled privately, right? It could have been handled in the email. We could have just not replied, like whatever. But I think the same thing applies to them. You know, that could have just happened in Discord. Why did this need to leave the platform?
Yeah.
Con, do you have like a takeaway?
I have a takeaway. I'm in that same boat as you, Alice. Why couldn't they have just talked to you? Why the communication here is atrocious on the side of the Homestuck team. They could have talked to you right then. They didn't have to put out these giant call-out docs as like a simple set of DMs between you, your husband, and the Homestuck team could have solved this entire situation, and no, we wouldn't even have to have this podcast today. This entire situation could have been avoided, but here we are farming it for content.
Yeah. Jojo?
Right.
Yeah, no, I guess I am also in agreement. I do agree that I feel like some of these screenshots I just think aren't relevant, nor do I think that they depict what they say that they're depicting, you know? I would be very curious to know whoever collected these screenshots what their logic was behind some of these. Specifically the Mormon one. I'm sorry, I keep coming back to it. It just really gets me.
That would.
Yeah, I was proud of that bit of you know, literary analysis.
I agree with you on that. That was a good one.
That's
okay,
good. I didn't even think about that.
Have you ever like posted literary analysis so good that the author found it and fired your husband about it?
Yeah.
I think so.
I love that.
I kind of want to give my takeaway. I think again, it's a communication issue. I think that the problem is, and this might be just my speculation, just on how I'm seeing. My takeaway is that I think there's just a lot of resentment from Hussey with Michael about how that music team ended up. I think that, and obviously Michael doesn't like how that ended up. I don't think Hussey likes it how it ended up, and I think Hussey, when he doesn't like someone, he puts them in like a penalty box forever or whatever, and he treats them like toxic radiation. Like he can't touch them, can't interact with them, can't talk to them. And I think it just bites him back because people don't like to be treated like that, and then it creates more resentment with that person, and then that just creates more justification for Hussey to keep doing it. It's a feedback loop, and it's just like there's no what's going on, bro. There's nothing like that. There's no, and I don't understand why. I've tried asking about it with, OHD people about like Geo, and I'm like, why isn't there just a simple breaking bread? And it's always they kind of spin always to, well, if we talk to them, they're just gonna take what we say and spin it to something negative. And I'm like, you don't know that, and they're
Maybe
gonna do that because the alternative is that's what's gonna happen. And it's you go into a situation with a bad mindset, of course it's gonna end up bad. You can't go into these situations like they did with Geo and be like, oh well, we already expect what he's gonna say, right? We already expect what he's gonna do. He's gonna be bad, and we're gonna have to treat him like a 10-foot pole. It's like you're just setting yourself up for failure, and I can see what they
vigilance, basically,
yeah.
right? It's expecting the worst.
Over. And I also think that Hussey kind of treats personal communication a little bit as a currency. A bit, like
I can kind of pick.
I don't think he's owed. He doesn't owe. Well, by the way, let me just say, Hussey doesn't owe anyone anything to talk to someone. I mean, I guess no one does. Like, who he talks to is totally his free will, volition, whatever. But it does seem a little bit like he intentionally puts these barriers as a strategy, like intentionally,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. All right.
If we're gonna wrap things up here, Alice, do you have anything else that you'd like to any projects you want to talk about? Do you want to, leave your socials again? Anything like that?
Well, I mean, right now the major project of my life is raising a little baby, so I'm not really doing too much beyond that right now. But
yeah, take care of that child.
Wait,
did you?
Yeah.
Instagram and Twitter are both just Cocoderma with 2 C's, or 3, I don't know, COCCODERMA. And my Tumblr is Coco Doodles.
Okay.
So I don't really post too much right now. Yeah.
All right. I have 2 final questions for you, Alice.
Yeah.
One, please tell me you did not name your child John, Carcat, or Vriska,
No,
like the memes.
no.
Okay.
No.
Good. And my other question is, since ultimately this is coming down to the Homestuck team asking Michael to ask you to apologize, do you apologize? You don't have to answer.
No, of course not.
You do not apologize?
Oh, no, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
I think some of these things I said are pretty funny. Some of them are maybe less funny, but
I mean, all I see here is some pretty surface level trash talk that turned into a whole debacle. And there we have it, folks. Alice Bowman does not apologize for her comments. All right. Well, it's been about almost two whole hours on this, so I think we'll have to cut it there. But thank you guys for joining up. We'll leave this stream. Thank you guys for joining us on the chat. I'm sorry we haven't read all of it, but we've had a very invigorating conversation. And we will talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.